So, thank you, by the way, for staying with us. Last week, we had some very heart-wrenching comments from our guests about young people, about children in particular, and how distant the parents are from their realities. It was very heart-wrenching, very chagrining for a good number of people who were here, and the people who we had in the studio work with children, and the things they told a good number of people who watched that episode. Well, I don't know if they are still not having those nightmares. But is that the worst? Or should we even be talking about the worst? Maybe not. The challenge is, we've heard this statement said over time, adulthood is scam, and they say education is scam and all of that. Where is all that coming from? And that's usually coming from young adults. Where is all that coming from? There are specialists who believe that it's because the teens have not been significantly prepared for the time. They weren't prepared for life. And then when life happens to them, then they begin to scream. Well, let's have conversations about how you prepare teens for life with our guest this morning, Mrs. Tolani Falabi, who is a clarity coach, and she works with teens. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
You've heard that thing said. Adulthood na scam. First of all, first time you heard it, how did it resonate with you as a professional in this field?
I'm laughing because really, isn't it?
Oh, well.
You know, I remember growing up myself and lamenting as to why my parents or my uncles don't respond when we want certain things. But now I'm grown, I'm making the money. And when people are requesting, I'm like, do you know how long it takes me to make that money? And you just request like, no, like I have it saved up somewhere. Yeah, but really, is it scam, or is it that we're not prepared for, nobody prepared us for what was ahead? To say, I remember when I just started working, I would come back home crying, tired, because I'm like, does it have to be this hard to make money? And I would tell my mom, I want to go and resign. My mother would say, resign where? You will go back tomorrow. You know, so people think adulthood is scam because we're not effectively prepared for what to expect. So we grow up being adults and boom, that's the reality. And they were like, oh, now I understand what my parents were saying. But maybe if someone had better prepared us, maybe we won't feel it scam.
Okay, so first of all, what are the challenges? Let's talk first of all about the understanding of parents. What much or what quantum of understanding parents have or adults have about teenage life, and how much, if it has, changed over the years?
So if I understand your question, you're asking if the parents are knowledgeable about the teenagers they are currently handling. Well, oftentimes parents think that they do. I work with teenagers all the time, and one of the things that I have observed is that there is an understanding of who the child is, but the parents have a total understanding of who they think that child is. And so you hear, oh, I'm doing all I can to ensure that this child is comfortable. I send you to good school, I ensure that you eat well, you buy some of the things that you want, maybe not all. But the child is saying, I'm looking for emotional connection. I want to feel like my parents love me. But these kids are not getting this. So parents oftentimes feel, I'm doing the best that I can. My parents didn't even do up to half of what I'm doing for you. So be appreciative. These kids are not saying, we don't appreciate what it is that you're doing. They're saying there is more to what we want than what you're giving. You're giving all the physical things, but we want to be able to connect with you emotionally. I want to be able to come back home and say that somebody bullied me in school, without you seeing you too. Why would you allow yourself to be bullied? It wasn't like I picked myself to be a victim, right? I want to be able to come home and talk to you about my body, to say, I don't feel comfortable like this. Is there something we can do about it? And you not insulting me and say, when you will be eating like a glutton, why won't you be this big? So when people are insulting you in school, maybe you deserve it. So teenagers oftentimes are looking for this emotional connection that parents are not giving. So for parents feel, I know my child, I understand my child, but oftentimes, today really, and one of the things that I want all parents watching at home to do is sit with your child today and ask your child, what is it that I am doing that you want me to stop doing? And what is it that I am not doing that you want me to start doing? You will understand a lot of things better. If you think that you know your child, maybe you should sit with your child and ask them, who are you? And let them explain themselves to you.
Is this what teenagers mean when they say, I'm going through a lot? Because I remember my own teenager at the time, about 10 years ago now, saying, Daddy, if you know what I'm going through. Because I asked, what are you going through?
Exactly.
So when teenagers say they are going through a lot, the thing in the parents' head is, are you paying school fees? Are you paying house rent? Are you even the one who bought your phone? Help parents understand what a lot is and the parents are going through, that but the really, teenagers are going through.
They are going through a lot. The world is evolving fast. You know, there's information overload, there's technology, new apps coming up every day that they had to keep up with. They have friends who probably travel and they don't, depending on the environment these kids find themselves. They have this identity crisis. They're not even sure exactly who they are. New culture, new information coming up about what is right and what is wrong. You know what used to be wrong before now, what the parents had imbibed into them, they see it out there and it's not a big deal. You know, it's okay to have a boyfriend. It's okay to do certain things. You know how we were growing up, you can't even, you know, sit with a boy. Your parents will have told you that you're going to get pregnant. I'm not sure how we believe that. My mom, I don't know what you did, you know, how we believe those stories. But these kids, this doesn't work. Rather, they are, I remember a case of a girl who said, I'm crushing on somebody, and I wrote a letter, and I think my teacher found out, or parents, and they were talking about it, making her feel, you know, bad for crushing on somebody. Everybody was insulting her and using all sorts of words for her. She's just crushing on somebody. So my question to the teacher or to the parents is, didn't you at one point, you know, crushed on someone, and then you embarrassed this person for specially liking somebody, rather than helping the child navigate that process of, oh, what emotions do you feel exactly? You know, have you felt, because when I'm handling teenagers who are, you know, dealing with crush, have you felt like this with someone else before? Oh, yes. How long did it last? Oh, after 2 months, I saw him talking to another girl, so I didn't like him again, so I moved on. So to say that you cannot make a decision to maybe have sex with somebody just because you crushed on the person or because you liked the person, and then you make them see the instances of the set of people that they've liked in time past and what happened, they didn't like the person again. So imagine that you've had to, you know, be with all of those people, and then it's just explanation. That's what these kids are asking for. So a lot of things are going on with them. They're trying to navigate their way through teenagehood. Sometimes they are on their period and their emotions are running everywhere. They can't even explain why they're cranky, because we've not taught them self-awareness. We've not taught them to be able to name their emotions. So all of these are going on with the kids, but because parents also have their own that they're dealing with, and then you're thinking, please, 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 I'm already taking all the bills. And of course, parents are under pressure, so they're thinking, don't bring up yours. But not all parents. We also have parents who are very present, who are asking questions, but sometimes they're probably not even asking the right question. You know, they just want to know, so how did your day go? And if your kids have seen how you reacted to some answer they've given you in time past, it could also affect the level of truth that they would give to you. So yes, are children or teenagers going through a lot? Yes, they are. And of course, even academics, it could be overwhelming. I've had kids who say, oh, they're always giving us homework in school. I have so much to do. I have limited time. I still want to get home. My mom wants me to maybe gist with her, and she's angry that I don't want to talk to her. It's not like I don't want to talk. I'm just not in the mood. So parents need to understand that these kids are, a lot is going on with them, and we need to understand. So if they say a lot is going on, just find out what that a lot is, and not shove it aside like it's not important.
Okay. So, to the meat of the matter, we have limited time. How do we prepare the teenager for adulthood so they don't see it as a scam? Because it is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do parents do that?
One of the things that we need to, first of all, do is emotional intelligence for these kids. What do I mean? Are your kids able to identify their emotions per time? Can they name how they feel? And not just react all the time, because they can't name it. So when your parents say, oh, I don't know why my child is snapping, they can't name that emotion. So we need to be able to teach them.
You assume that the parents themselves know. Because you said it the other time that even the parents themselves, they are calling adulthood scam because they themselves were not taught.
Oh, well, there's a lot of information online right now.
Okay.
That's why parenting school can't be overemphasized. You can't think that, oh, you have it all figured out, because the generation that you have at hand are evolving per time with the new technology that comes, the speed at which these kids evolve. Sometimes I hear some certain things because I work with them, so I get to learn from them, because they're the one who uses technology. They're the one who is coming up with all of these things. So for you to know what is happening in their world, you need to be able to learn from them. But just have simple conversations. How are you feeling? Are you able to name your emotion? So are you feeling lonely? Why are you feeling lonely? Oh, maybe it could just be that you didn't give me a hug is why they're feeling lonely. Name your emotions. Are you feeling sad? Why are you feeling sad? It could be something that you have said to them. It could be something that happened in school. Help them identify and name their emotion, and create scenarios in such a way that they are able to navigate such emotions next time they feel it. So they could be cranky. Sometimes they say, oh, I'm on my period. I don't even know. I'm just angry. I just don't want to talk to anybody. I just, so at home you're talking to them. It looks like they're being insulting. No, they don't even understand how they're feeling. But if you're able to help them identify that emotion and name it, and to say, when next I feel like this, what do I do to feel better? That's one. Another thing is values. Do we have values that our kids live by? Empathy, responsibility, integrity, respect. How do we imbibe these values? Do we even live it out? Do we model these values to them? Do we help them understand that it's not by what they have, it's not by what you're able to provide for them, but by who they are. Who are they as an individual? Who, when we're growing up, you will say, oh, that's an abe. They don't behave, in this way. Your parents, when you are going to school, will say, remember the child of whom you are. But right now, how many of our families still reinforce these things to say, remember the child of whom you are? What that means is there are certain behaviors that we would not expect from you because this is not how we do it. I remember myself growing up, my father would say, if you fail, fail honorably. If you pass, pass honorably. Meaning that I didn't have fear of failing, because I know that even if I don't do well in my academics, I can come back home and my parents will not scold me. They will not make me feel like I failed or I'm a failure. Will I prepare? Yes. Did I ever fail? No. Because there was also reward for doing well. So that value of being responsible and integrity, that you do not cheat in examination regardless. Knowing that when I come back home, there are no consequences for not doing well. However, you might not get reward because you have also not done well. So what are the values that we're imbibing into our kids? And are we modeling it, right? To say, oh, I want my child to be more empathetic. Are we doing that with our drivers, with our cooks, the people that we work with? Our kids seeing how we relate with people? Another thing is preparing them for life, with life skills. What have you observed with your kids? Gone are the days where every mother or father wants their child to be a doctor, a lawyer. There are a lot of things that these kids can do. They are making money right now on the internet. Are we teaching them how to save? Are we teaching them to pick up skills that while they are even in school, they can use to begin to make money? Some of them are now coding. Some of the parents who have businesses, your kids can now begin to learn animations that will even promote your own business. So it looks more like we're around running a family business, because the child might be able to do maybe graphics design, do some form of an animation, just something that is even able to help your own business. So you want to expose them. Now, when I mean expose them to different kind of skills, I'm not saying load their plates, because I've also seen parents who, the kids don't have a life on Saturdays where they should be resting. The whole essence of weekend is for the kids to rest, because they've gone to school Monday to Friday. But then you see the child saying, my mom said I should go to swimming school. They are life skills, yes, but can you not trunk it up together at a time? Let it be maybe the first quarter, this is what we're learning, the second quarter, this is what we're learning, rather than child having 3, 4, 5 activities to get done on a weekend when they should be resting. So after swimming class, then they're going to piano class. After piano class, then they're going to karate. You just keep, and I think why parents do this is to keep the kids busy. They don't have the time, they're not available, so they feel if I, choke their day with all of this activity, at least I can be sure that I'm very engaged till maybe when I get back in the evening. So one, I talked about emotional intelligence, helping them identify and manage their emotion. I've also talked about values, help them elicit the values that they can live by, that will prepare them for the future. And one of the things that we also need to understand about that is, whether you are aware of it or not, you are living by a value daily. Some set of values,
children can see it.
Yes, some set of values are driving you per day. So will it not be better if you're able to identify such values and see what is working, what we need, and what we don't want as a family? And then the next one is preparing them for life. What skills do they need to learn? Do they need to learn tech skills? Are there, what future are you preparing them for? What are the skills that you have observed in your child and you're trying to build up on, for them? These are things that parents need to begin to pay attention to, because the world is evolving so fast.
Okay.
How can they also stay safe online? When they go online, how are they able to stand bullies? Are they also bullying too? Do you go on somebody's page? These are basic things that every parent needs to, teach their kids, that you don't go online and bully others. And also prepare them, because people online would bully them, would say things. You see all of the celebrities saying, people just insult us. Somebody saying to an actor, oh, you're not fine. Somebody saying to, making a comment on someone's post, you're doing too much, you're not beautiful. And you see how adults are saying these things get to us, not to talk of teenagers. And they are on all kinds of platforms that you are not even aware of. So how have you prepared them to be able to understand who they are as a person? That regardless of what anybody says to them online, they're able to, stand on their own and say, that's not who I am. If someone looks at me now and say, oh, you're ugly, you must be blind. It must be that you're not seeing well. So they must be able to teach their kids that regardless of what life is throwing at them, they are prepared. Would they be down sometimes? Of course, yes. Resilience is another thing. That we don't give up at the slightest failure. We don't give up when things are not going our way. The same way when they're trying to play games and they want to get to the next level of the game and it seems difficult. Do they give up? Do they smash the phone and look at those characters, look at those traits in your kids? Are you building resilience in them? Because life would happen.
Interesting. Even the president said he doesn't watch social media anymore because he doesn't like
so much is happening.
I mean, talking about the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria here.
Not to talk about a teenager.
Yeah. you actually went to the question I was supposed to ask you after this one, but at least you've gone there, talking about trolling on the internet and all of those things. Now, some of the issues that you have raised, is it peculiar to a particular gender?
No.
Okay.
Both male and female. They experience the same thing. So as parents, if you're going to be dealing with your kids, don't say, oh, is a girl child who is likely being bullied. No. Some male child are also being bullied. They will say, oh, you're not smart enough. Oh, you're not. You know, I've had a case of a boy who was being bullied in school because he didn't like sports. Not all boys will like sports. Not all boys want to do sports. But every child, maybe not every, that would be generalization. A lot of the boys in his class or in his school used to insult him and say, oh, you must be a girl. Are you one of them? And, you know, make jest of this boy. And he felt really bad. And he didn't even talk about it at home. Good enough, his brother at home was also into sports. And the mother also didn't make things, you know, easy on him to say, see, your brother can run, see, your brother can do. But this boy is interested in music. He does it better than any other person, but nobody's paying attention to that part of him. Yet they keep saying what he cannot do. So oftentimes what we teach children is focus on the things that you can do. Because some things that you can do, some other people cannot do. So don't let anybody begin to make you feel bad for what they can do that you can't do. If we want to, you know, send it back to them, you also let them know the things that you can do, you know, that they can't do. But we don't want to go that route. So it's important for parents to know that it's not just one gender. It's not just though the female, the male also go through this, and they want to pay attention to that.
By and large, you're saying all of this falls on the parents.
Yes.
You heard. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Mutolani Falabi is a clarity coach, and she also works with teenagers.